Aerodrome Finance, why it's crucial to position yourself correctly for this upcoming move. My name is mikemadz. Let's start this video. Before I start the video, AERO community, make some noise, prove that you're still here, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. The more people like and the more people comment, the more people will hear and see about Aerodrome, which is obviously good for us. So let's start. All right, let's stop wasting time. Let's jump straight into it. Today I want to cover the good for Aerodrome, the bad, of course nothing is perfect, and a new price prediction here, a new price target, a short-term price target, comparing Aerodrome to a different kind of project here, similar project on a different chain. Super interesting. And I'm also going to cover, of course, what I'm currently doing with my position. First things first, of course, let's cover the metrics. Super important to keep an eye on the volume here. And of course, epoch for epoch, as you can see, we're having growth here. Currently, the most important thing is we're holding above $1 billion in volume. As you can see here, Aerodrome hit $1.2 billion here in volume last epoch. Stream pools dominated with 89% of the week's volume here. So as you can see here, metric-wise, volume-wise, things are looking absolutely great. Of course, despite the fact that we're bearish here, most people are turning bearish. Why? Because the price action is kind of boring here. The most important thing is we're holding above $1. This seems to be a psychological, super important key level for Aerodrome. And as you can see here, the volume speaks for itself, holding above $1 billion. So again, as I always say, sentiment can be misleading. If you check out comments on Twitter or YouTube, people are turning bearish here simply because they're getting bored. Pretty simple, but volume-wise, metric-wise, everything is looking pretty nice here. Another super interesting comparison is between Aerodrome and Uniswap here. And as you can see, it makes sense to use Aerodrome as the APR is simply higher here. Of course, keep in mind, both of them absolutely crazy high. And you have to keep in mind, this is a very volatile pair here with wrapped Ethereum to Toshi, so a meme coin pair. But either way, as you can see, it makes sense to use Aerodrome. And it's interesting as we always compare Aerodrome to Uniswap here in market cap and how we can reach or catch up to that. One great way to earn yield on your position. And you also have a more stable pair here with wrapped Ethereum to USDC, also with crazy differences here. Uniswap being 50% APR, Slipstream 142%. A logical conclusion to that is people will migrate over to Aerodrome. Of course, keep in mind those crazy high APRs are not sustainable forever. But either way, in the short term, it is simply an incentive here to migrate over to Aerodrome. Right, take a look at the price action here, and one very important comparison you should do is to compare Aerodrome to Ethereum here. Super important, always compare your altcoin to its blue chip crypto, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. If your altcoin is not outperforming at least those two, it doesn't make sense to hold those. Okay, you're taking on more risk for less gains just because you like the community or just because you like the project. It doesn't make any sense, guys. Don't marry your coin. With Aerodrome here, as you can see in this time frame, Aerodrome outperformed Ethereum by 1,600%. Of course, with Aerodrome, it makes sense to compare it to Ethereum as base is a layer 2 on Ethereum here. But also to note here, since April, as you can see, we had a top and we're bleeding heavily against Ethereum, which makes sense here as the Ethereum ETF is finally here. So in the short term, I expect more bleed, most probably here, but you also have to keep in mind, this is the Aerodrome to Ethereum chart. So this does not mean that Aerodrome in USDC cannot go up. This is just simply Aerodrome in relation to Ethereum. Of course, I still expect the USDC price of Aerodrome to go up here. And of course, there's still the possibility here that this is the bottom of the Aerodrome to Ethereum chart as we are at the last support here. If this is not the bottom, the next support area here is around the level of 1,800. And this is exactly where we cover the bad stuff about Aerodrome here. Of course, nothing is perfect. Is the bleed here. Since April, guys, we had around a 60% bleed against Ethereum. After this massive move, if you would have sold your Aerodrome and put it into Ethereum, you would have made an absolutely crazy trade here. Of course, in hindsight, it's easy to say, but either way, in the short term, guys, since April, we are bleeding heavily against Ethereum. So we have to take a look at, is this the bottom? Is this the reverse point here? Can we outperform Ethereum here? Which, in my personal opinion, doesn't make sense as the Ethereum ETF inflows are going to ramp up here and most probably we're going to continue to bleed here against Ethereum, which is not a bad thing per se, because you have to keep in mind the higher Ethereum goes, the better it is for layer 2s here. And of course, base is a layer 2 in Ethereum, and that money is going to trickle down into layer 2s and it's going to trickle down into dexes on layer 2s like Aerodrome. But again, the worst case scenario is that we're going to keep bleeding here until we find substantial support here. This doesn't mean to go out and sell your Aerodrome right now for Ethereum, as it's a risky play here and we simply don't know where that reverse point is. Again, keep in mind the USDC pair on Aerodrome, of course, still can go up, but we simply bleed against Ethereum. All right, coming to the second point here at the bad section, people are simply getting bored here. Getting bored of the price action. People expect a 100x in 2 weeks. People expect to get rich here in 1 month. So people are getting bored, and this boredom is translating into FUD here. People are simply blaming it due to the inflation rate. People are blaming it for different kind of reasons. And this is exactly the spot where you want to be, guys, as a holder. The more FUD is around, especially with those kind of metrics I just showed you, with this kind of volume, this positioning, having FUD actually makes me bullish, guys, as I love me some contrarian trades here. Always have to keep that in mind with investing, especially if that FUD doesn't make any sense. Now, of course, the inflation rate on Aerodrome is super high, but guys, once retail is here and once we have that mania phase, everything will get absolutely overvalued, and we're currently not even at fair value in my personal opinion. So the upside is still there. We have people getting bored of this price action, which makes sense as Aerodrome is almost behaving like a stable coin. But you also have to keep in mind, Aerodrome is actually holding up pretty well here around the $1 mark, while most other altcoins are actually still at the lows, getting absolutely wrecked. So this boredom here of the people, ignore it. At this time frame, just do something else, guys. Don't look at the charts. In my personal opinion, it is safe to have your money on Aerodrome. You will not wake up the next day and it will be at zero, for example, getting rugged. So have patience in those summer months. The summer low, as I said it already a couple months ago, I was expecting the summer to be a boring red season, as it always is, guys. Expect the price to hover around the $1 mark and be happily surprised here if we finally have the second leg up. Take a look at the new price target here, new short-term price target. As of now, most people compared Aerodrome to Uniswap here, which is a fair comparison here. But in my personal opinion, it's also interesting to see Aerodrome here compared to Jupiter here. Also Jupiter, a DEX here on Solana. Keep in mind, Jupiter has more function and is on a different chain. But market cap wise and gold wise, it makes sense to compare those two. And as you can see here, a nice short-term price prediction is something here along those lines here. Now, what is short-term? This will take months, guys. This will not happen in weeks. This will take months here, and of course we need the market here to finally flip bullish again. But either way, a 5x, let's say a healthy 5x, definitely possible, guys, here. Despite the inflation claims, despite all the FUD, super attractive and is a very realistic short-term price prediction. This does not mean this is my top price prediction here. In my personal opinion, Aerodrome here, and this is a big statement now, Aerodrome right now in this space is the safest 10x play from this price point here. And to find a safe, boring 10x play at this current stage of the cycle is very, very rare, guys. Keep in mind, this is a risky statement here and it's not financial advice, but finding safe 10x plays is a very, very hard thing to do in crypto here. And this is exactly where Aerodrome is shining here right now. And keep in mind, you can earn yield in the meantime on your Aerodrome, increasing your position size, increasing your total return. Now, is a 10x the maximum crazy mania phase price prediction? No, guys. As I always say, I'm gonna be conservative with my price prediction. I don't want to sell you a dream here with 50, 60x returns. Does this mean Aerodrome can never reach $30? No, guys. I understand also the mania phase of cycles, and definitely things can get super crazily overvalued. And of course, it is also possible for Aerodrome to reach $30. As crazy it might sound here from this point of view, but in my personal opinion, guys, again, I like to be conservative. Prepare for a 10x, prepare for those price predictions here in the short term, and then we can see step by step where we are in the market cycle and how to adapt accordingly. All right, let's cover what I'm currently doing with my Aerodrome at this current stage here. And super important, guys, as I said, I always seek safety, maximum safety here with decent return. I don't want to get rugged here in a couple weeks. This is why don't mess this up at this current stage is super, super important. So what I'm currently doing here is simply using Seamless Protocol. Guys, again, Seamless Protocol is a native borrowing and lending platform on Base. Okay, it was the first native Base token here to be listed on Coinbase here. So safety-wise, this is the play, guys. Despite the returns not being crazy high with 50-60%, by the way, is not sustainable here for a long period of time. But either way, Seamless Protocol here is pushing in this direction here, and they are collaborating here with Aerodrome at a Twitter space, X space here, discussing their partnership here with Aerodrome. So what I'm currently doing here, small portion of my Aerodrome actually landing out here on Seamless. Not a big portion, a small portion, but either way, this APR is actually increasing here, earning currently around 17%. And again, in this package of safety and return, nothing beats the Seamless Protocol. And this is only my personal opinion. I know there are other protocols here offering you much higher returns, but again, for my taste, safety is all that matters here. And I didn't build the Aerodrome position just to lose it in a couple weeks. I'm not saying all the protocols are unsafe. I'm simply a very risk-averse person, and seeing the communication between the Seamless Protocol and and Aerodrome simply also reassures me, and I'm sure there's more things to come. So again, a small portion of my Aerodrome I'm actually lending out on Seamless. At the same time, I'm accumulating the Seamless token itself. As I want to diversify here my base portfolio, I'm accumulating the Seamless token itself, as the price action here on Seam is super impressive here. In my personal opinion, this is bullish accumulation, bullish sideways chop, and this chart looks to me that it's going to break out here in the next move up. So I'm holding my Aerodrome position, I'm accumulating here the Seamless token just to simply diversify my base portfolio. At the end of the day, guys, the only thing I'm doing right now is just to simply hold my position. I have my conviction here on Aerodrome. I personally believe it's a safe play. It's a minimum 10x return play, not financial advice here. So I'm simply holding here, waiting out this phase. I'm aware of the risks, I'm aware of the upside, and I'm not aware of the bid. I'm not panic selling here at dips. I'm not FOMO buying here at pumps. I'm simply holding my position. We are positioned. We simply have a long-term outlook here for Aerodrome, and we're ready for the next move up. So at the end of the day, guys, as always, you have to do your own research. Super, super important. Be bullish on yourself. That yields the most returns at the end of the day. And the most important thing is, as always, don't get wrecked.
This is God given, not from blue tops like Mars Simpson, just hard discipline, pot simmering, cooking up, no rocks in the pan, watching the plan form in the sand, bidding castles out of thoughts in our head, late nights, no sleep in my bed, trying to see my dreams manifest.